I want everyone to like me, because that means I'm a really good person. I thought such a thing back then. In fact, I once had a streak of 16 years without conflicts with anybody, or at least that's what it looked like on the surface. And I once was really proud of it, that nobody hated me, that nobody outwardly disliked me. However, such an idea of everybody liking you, I guess it is possible. After all, I was able to trick myself for all those years. But such a concept, it's not as pretty as you may think. For what it really is a blockade for the healing of humanity, a type of perspective that ends up serving the people who want no good for others. I once had a 16-year streak of everybody liking me, and it took everything out of me to maintain and keep up. It was my self-worth at the time, a streak of 16 years that really in the end isolated me. I never really had friends, but I was popular. Though, it wasn't until I awakened that I realized I was lonely and had nobody close enough to me to be by my side during the darkest times. It's because at the same time you let toxic people use you, the genuine people you keep at arm's length and can never truly be close to. I only realized I was bullied, abused, and taken advantage of by many people years after my experience, looking back now. People used me and exploited me, but at the same time to me it looked like that I had successfully made everybody like me. I learned that even if you have a 16-year streak and try so hard, that there will always be someone who, no matter how good a person you are, is not ready to be nice to you. It's because they're not yet a person that is satisfied with themselves. When everybody likes you, that does not mean you're a good person. It often means you are forsaking yourself for the wrong people. There will be some people who don't yet deserve your attention, your time, your talents, your resources, and your kindness. At least not infinitely. Not to the point where you drain yourself for your relationship with them. There will be people you need to love from afar. I learned this only recently. Being there for everybody at every request they have of you without using your own discernment is not only harmful to you, but everybody involved. After all, if you don't let people do their own work when they're in the dark, not only are you hurting yourself by doing their work, but also hurting them too by not giving them the chance to grow themselves. You hurt the collective of humanity when you try to please everybody. I realized this only recently. The fact that you are even somebody capable of giving your efforts to somebody else is extraordinary. However, when you do that, have you yourself learned your own lessons? How can you uplift people when you yourself have not yet passed your own tests and focusing on the issues of others? And I first started learning this at age 16, when I met the first person that immediately betrayed me when I stood up for myself for the first time. It was the first time I saw something so obviously done in my own face that I could not deny it. It was the first time that I was forced to accept that such a person existed. I cursed it at the time, and I thought it was my fault. But in the end, I realized, fake friends, they exist, of course they do. At the time it happened, I was so shocked, but with deeper reflection, I realized that this wasn't my first fake friend. I had many of them. Many people I had called friend, somebody I would give my infinite effort to. Not all of them stuck around for me. Because the people pleaser you isn't the real you. The people pleaser you is the real you at 10% battery. When you're not your real self, how can you have real friends? When you're worried about putting up facades for others, you're betraying yourself. So how can you expect people to be loyal to you? At the same time you want to be kind to everybody, how can you be kind to the people that truly deserve it if the toxic people around you have drained you? How can you save that kindness and love for the people you truly want to give it to? Why would you ever want to give your kindness away unwillingly? If anything, that says how much your soul craves approval. Why are you scared of external conflict over being scared of being degraded? Why aren't you more scared of betraying yourself and torturing yourself? Why aren't you more scared of fighting with yourself rather than other people? Why aren't you more scared of waking up in the morning for somebody else and not yourself? I realized what was more scary was not to stand up for myself, but to abandon myself in the darkness. No matter how beautiful a person you are or become, you can never please a person who is not pleased with themselves. And if you don't learn that, imagine the consequences. Not only does the person who needs to learn never learn, but you have dimmed your own precious light when it could be given at times the world really needs you. They sit there on their throne you built for them and take from you without giving anything back, when you're supposed to be the person on the throne and meant to help people with your kindness as you take care of yourself. It becomes a never-ending cycle. Trust me, I did this for 16 years. I learned you can only do your best to move forward on your own and make sure you're the best person you can be. And that path is the path where you stop pleasing the people that you can't be beside as you ascend. You can't take everybody with you. It's not your job. But you can focus on shining the brightest you can and be the light guiding others toward their own efforts. They will grow in their own time. You can't take them with you, or else you're delaying everybody. Not just yourself, you're delaying them too. I used to be the one people kept around to take advantage of, where I was in so many relationships where I was the only one who gave. To many people, I was subconsciously an asset, not a friend they would unconditionally support. I was beautiful, I was healing, I was the light. But instead of helping me up the stairs to my place in the sky, I let them take a jar to keep me by their side in their own dark room. And instead of doing their own work to walk into the light themselves, they took me and kept me as a lamp so they don't have to work for anything. On and off, I worked at their demand, for they thought they were entitled to my beauty. They wanted to ride my coattails because they could see the talent I had when I couldn't. I grew up insecure, self-critical, and negative. The thing is, these people never wanted me to know I was special and gifted. They were jealous of me. I finally see that now. They were jealous of me and weren't strong enough to support me and cheer me on. They were weak, so they decided to take from me instead. I was kept down, seeking their approval, letting them have power over me. I let these people hide from their insecurities by being the punching bag for them. It was this pattern over and over again. I used to be scared of external conflict, but I questioned why I didn't find such a thing scarier. Being trapped in a mental prison was way worse a feeling than standing up for myself. Actively choosing to avoid healing the hole in your heart is far more painful than doing the brave thing to fight to make it whole again. Wanting to please everybody, I fed into my own insecurity, when ironically I did those things to try and get myself out of it. When I was people-pleasing, I fed into the insecurity of everybody involved. I thought it was the best thing I could receive from others, being liked by them. I tricked myself into thinking they were my friends when they weren't. It's because I was so desperate for approval and gave not out of real kindness, but to be validated by people who didn't even want good for me if it didn't include them. At the same time they would downplay me when I spoke about my dreams and passions, they'd come back all cool the minute they see I actually start making them happen. Why would you want to please such a person? Somebody who is not ready to chase their own dream. And at one point, you're done. You can't do it anymore. You give so much that you have nothing left and you feel empty inside. As if your beautiful light was captured in a mason jar and kept around for decoration. How must it feel to be something meant to light up the sky, but to be dimmed to shine in a small dark room? They don't care. Why would they? For you to stick around, they don't have to do anything. You'll do all the work for them. You'll fight for it all for them. You're the one carrying everyone's weight willingly without valuing yourself. You give people benefits even if they did not work for it. You become the opposite of justice. At one point, you've given so much that it falls apart anyway in the end. Because now that you're drained and can't give anymore, they want to throw you away. And when you think people don't want to be your friend anymore, you blame yourself. You're so valuable. But when you don't see your own value, how can others see it? Not everybody is an angel on this planet. Many are still learning to come out of the dark. For I thought everybody was like me. Everybody can be a good person, but that does not mean that they choose to. And they are yet to learn how to take those steps themselves, to become a kind person. You have to protect yourself and your kind heart. Don't let the wrong people keep you from spreading your light. Don't fall into this manipulative game of you don't deserve to say no. It's 'cause they can't get out of their own rut, so they look for the easy way out, and that's you. My past trained me to be hyper-anxious, critical, and self-hating, where I was toxically quiet, didn't want to speak up, where I thought I mattered as long as I kept up the facade that everybody liked me. I used to want everybody to like me, but then I realized the trade of everybody liking me to everybody using me is not worth it. Because in a world where everybody likes you when there's people who are still on the dark side, there was something almost wrong and impossible with such a picture. When everyone likes you, you are not yet the best version of yourself. Actually, it's quite the opposite. If someone doesn't like you because you respect yourself, if someone gets angry and triggered when you say you're uncomfortable, if someone gets angry that you don't want to do their work, then they are the problem, not you. The trade-off of being liked by everybody is actually your insecurity of needing people. And this trade is never worth it. The trade for external validation is never even a fraction of the worth of you entirely. So don't trade it for anything. Your dignity and self-respect. This is why I'm unafraid of saying no now. This is why I'm unafraid of speaking up when I need something. Because who needs approval from somebody who is judgmental? You should not be worried about impressing such people. You will never be good enough in their eyes, and that's a reflection of their own issue, not yours. Remember, hurt is never personal, and the best thing you can do is forgive them and wish them the best on their healing journey. When you are your true self, the real people will stick around. So why are you so worried about pleasing everybody? You want to please the fake people? You want to please the people who want no good for you? You want to keep around relationships where people are friends with your persona and not the real you? You need to learn to discern which people deserve your full effort. For your love is precious. Please do not let someone exploit you. That is not true love. That is not true love at all. True love is respecting yourself and walking away, and wishing for that person to change while you're gone. That's true love. This is how you love properly and fearlessly. You love with the active choice to give, not to be used. True love is everybody's higher good. And pleasing everybody, though it looks like such a pretty concept on the outside, after what I went through, I realized what such a thing really is. True kindness is only given when you know your own value. Otherwise, such kindness is not even kindness, but a desperate facade. I used to be scared of confessing to crushes, or scared of asking for a spoon at the mall. But through everything I've been through and realized, being silent is not worth the trade-off. Are you going to let yourself be a stand-byer of your own pain? Or are you going to do something about it? At first, when I realized this, I was scared. But it's okay if you fail. Looking back, all of my failures were really redirections. Failures only give you more guidance to where to go in your life next. There was no shame. With each new thing you try, you find your way to the door meant for you, and you should never be ashamed in trying to find who you are. The way I conquered my anxiety and fear was through learning how to forgive myself. That every attempt to get out of this rut was another thing off my checklist into finding the thing that would get me out. How long are you going to avoid the truth? Because all you do is delay what needs to be done. Feel the fear, but do it anyway, one step at a time. This is how you take the first steps to changing your bad habits. Because you want to be happy, because you know you deserve it, and you're going to do whatever it takes to fight for it. Your bad habits don't deserve to be chosen over your freedom. This is another reason why I became fearless. To tell myself that even if I fail, that I deserved to try. I deserved to ask for a spoon. I deserved to try and confess my love. I deserved to show my talent to the class, have my sketchbook appreciated, and so many other things I once told myself and was trained that I didn't deserve. Slow and steady, I started to become somebody who knew how to take off the stones I placed on my own back that weren't mine, one by one. When, for all these years, I was so focused on the stones, I never noticed I was chained. And when I finally started to commit to the journey of taking off each stone, I became somebody who set myself free. I was no longer burdened. I could finally focus on myself and the things I loved to do, the thing I was born to do. Don't let your low self-worth trick you into seeking acceptance to other people's terrible suggestions and requests. You must realize you deserve to be heard, deserve to be loved no matter what mistakes you make and correct, deserve to pick and choose who you want to offer your all to. That is how you treat a human being, and in reflection, that's how much the world needs fixing. When you realize you deserve these things simply because you've been given a life on this planet, that is when everything can come to you. That is when you become unafraid of judgment, because you know the people who judge you are the ones you don't need approval from anyways. They become irrelevant. Your anxiety disappears when you realize what really matters. It is because you've been conditioned by others that you didn't matter. Are you going to let those people step on you? Are you going to let those people keep you in a jar when you're supposed to be a star shining bright in the sky? The world needs your voice now more than ever. You need your voice now more than ever. We'll climb out of the darkness one by one and live happily alongside each other. For everybody with a heart of gold, I want to give strength to. Your kindness is meant to shine in the sky, but to get there you must focus on your own part. You must do your own part before you can help others. When I realized I deserved to be kind to myself, that's when I started saying no. That's when I started asking for spoons. That's when I started standing up to people who abused their power over me. Because I realized I was giving away my dignity and humility, and I will never do such a thing ever again. I will never trade away my soul to keep up an illusion for people in the dark. I am the light, and I will shine fearlessly. This is how I will love everybody and myself. And trust me, truly loving everybody feels way more fulfilling than everybody loving you. For when you're the person who loves fearlessly, you don't need anybody to be happy.